Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk about a very special film that left a deep impression on me. It's a Japanese anime movie called Grave of the Fireflies. Even though it's an animation, it's definitely not a typical cartoon. It's a heartbreaking story about love, survival, and devastating consequences of war. This is one of those rare films that stays with you long after it ends. Grave of the Fireflies is a 1988 animated masterpiece directed by Isao Takahata and produced by Studio Ghibli. Far beyond a simple word story, it's an adaptation of Akiyuki Nosaka's semi-autobiographical short story, written as an expression of his profound grief and lingering guilt over the death of his younger sister during World War II. Knowing the personal tragedy behind the narrative transformed the film from a heartbreaking work of fiction into an intimate confession of loss and sorrow. It's this painful truth that makes the story so haunting, unforgettable, and deeply human. The story is set in Japan during the final months of World War II. It follows two siblings, Seda and his little sister Sadako, as they try to survive after losing everything. At the beginning of the film, their city, Kobe, is bombed by American airids. Their house is destroyed. Their mother is severely burned and later dies from her injuries. Their father is a naval officer, but he is away at war and they have no idea whether he's alive or dead. Suddenly, Seda, a teenage boy, finds himself the only one left to care for his 4-year-old sister. Seda hides the truth about their mother's death from Setsuko, hoping to protect her. Afterward, they move in with a distant aunt in Nishinomiya. At first, she takes care of them, but it doesn't take long for her attitude to change. She becomes harsh and resentful, treating the two siblings as a burden. She constantly reminds them that they are freeloaders living off her charity. Seda tries his best to help, even trading away their mother's last possession, her cherished kimono, for rice. But nothing he does can soften his aunt's coldness. Unable to endure the unfair treatment any longer, Seda decides to take Sadako and leave. They move into an abandoned dairy shelter by a quiet pond, determined to live on their own. In the beginning, they experience a brief period of peace, catching fireflies to light up the dark nights. However, their food supply quickly runs out. Seda resorts to stealing in order to feed Sadako. But one day, he is caught and beaten. As Seda struggles to keep them alive, Satsuko's health worsens. She suffers from severe malnutrition. Her skin breaks down in rashes, her hair falls out, and she often hallucinates from hunger. Desperate to save her, Seda withdraws the last of his mother's savings to buy food, including a watermelon and small amount of rice. But it's too late. Satsuko dies quietly in her sleep shortly afterward, leaving Seda alone and heartbroken. Seda cremates his sister's body by the lake, gently placing her ashes in the canteen she had always cherished. With no home and no family left, Seda wanders aimlessly until he collapses and dies of starvation at a train station. After death, Seda and Satsuko's spirits are finally reunited. Together, they silently watch over the city that has been rebuilt after the war, yet the memories of their pain and loss remain forever. Seda is a strong and loving brother. He tries his best to protect Satsuko. Even when he doesn't know what to do, he is still judged by himself, but he carries a huge responsibility on his shoulders. His pride and determination to care for Satsuko without asking for help are both admirable and heartbreaking. Satsuko is innocent and full of life. Despite the hunger and fear around her, she still finds joy in simple things, like catching fireflies or playing with her brother, but she doesn't understand why they are suffering, and this makes her even more vulnerable. The biggest challenge is not just the war itself, but hunger, loneliness, and the slow breakdown of society. They are victims not only of war, but of neglect and indifference. What makes Grave of the Fireflies so powerful is its emotional honesty. The performances by the voice actors are deeply moving, especially Anyano Shiraishi as Setsuko. Her voice sounds so real and innocent that you almost feel like you're listening to a real child. Tsutomu Tasumi brings quiet strength and hidden pain to Seida's character, showing both his courage and his deep sadness. The animation is stunning. Studio Ghibli is known for its beautiful artwork, and this film is no exception. The backgrounds are detailed and realistic, from the ruined cities to the peaceful countryside. The scenes with the fireflies are especially beautiful and symbolic. Fireflies in the film represent both light and death. They light up the dark nights, but live for only a short time, just like Seida and Setsuko's fleeting happiness. The music by Michio Mamiya is quiet and understated. It doesn't overpower the story, but gently guides the viewer's emotions. Sometimes, the silence in the film speaks louder than words or music. The themes of the movie are universal and timeless. It's an anti-war film, but more than that, it's a story about love, pride, and the innocence of childhood destroyed by war. It's an important question. What happens when society fails to protect its most vulnerable people? How does war affect not just soldiers, but the families they leave behind? Although Grave of the Fireflies is an animated movie, I would recommend it for teenagers and adults who are ready to experience a serious, thought-provoking story. This is not a movie to watch when you want to relax or be entertained. It's a film that asks for your attention and your heart. If you are someone who values deep, emotional stories about family, sacrifice, and the harsh realities of life, this film is a must-watch. But be prepared, it will break your heart. Thank you so much for watching my review of Grave of the Fireflies. The film left a deep impact on me, and I hope you will give it a chance. If you do watch it, I'd love to hear the thoughts. What did you feel? Did you change the way you think about work, family, or life? Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again in my next video.